This week's Michigan Lottery Excellence in Education winner is Dawn Little from North Elementary School in Newport. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I have a letter from your nominator. I want to read a portion of it to you. Mrs. Little is the perfect example of an elementary school teacher. The kindness and enthusiasm she shows her students is one of the many reasons she has made a difference in my child's education. As the resource room teacher, Mrs. Little tackles challenges that not all teachers are required to face. My child has an IEP and depends on his teachers more than others. Mrs. Little has been pivotal in my son's education, and we're so thankful to her. It takes a special teacher to guide students with learning disabilities, and she is amazing. I remember this year's 4th grade open house, and as we walked in the school, her bright and friendly smile made us feel welcomed. Mrs. Little has changed our lives, and we are so grateful. When I was reading that letter, what was going through your mind?
It's nice to know that people see how much I enjoy doing what I do. It's very heartwarming.
And you wanted to be a teacher for a long time, right? This has been in the works for forever. Tell me about that.
I've had a lot of great teachers across my schooling. My mom's a teacher. I used to spend my recess time going down to the special ed early childhood rooms and helping during center time or snack time. It's just something I've always enjoyed, and I'm glad I get to do this every day.
In school, there's academics, right? But then there's something else. Tell me what the something else is for you.
Well, the way I look at it is I have 2 children of my own who are at school with their teachers all day long. So when those kids are in my classroom, they're my kids. We're not just there to teach them about academics. We have a lot of problems, a lot of worries, and sometimes it's harder to get to those academics if we're not taking care of that social emotional part. So it's good to know them on a personal level in order to make it an all-around successful day.
What's it like for you when you see a student grasps a concept for the first time?
So I always say it's happy tears, and it's funny because I'm not a crier. So that big mouth open, it makes sense, is like, yes, all right, finally, we're getting it. And we do a lot of manipulatives and a lot of different ways of seeing the same situation. So it's fun to see over the years what situation is working for which student, because it kind of helps guide the rest of the school year and how we're going to approach that lesson.
Fast forward 15 years from now, you run into a former student. What would you hope that student talks to you about and their experience with you in their classroom or your classroom years ago?
I just want them to know and remember that I cared. It wasn't so much about just the academics. I cared about them as a student. And I want them to know that what we're working on isn't just, you're going to learn it today and it's gone. We're trying to work and put everything in a real life experience. So when they can come back to it later in life, they'll be like, oh, I remember when we did this in class. I remember why I learned this.
What advice would you have for other teachers?
Don't expect every day to be the same. Go in there. You have to roll with the punches. It's not going to be, here's my lesson plans. This is how the day is going to go. Most of the time, my lesson plans are made and we deviate from them a lot. So you have to be able to change.
Well, thank you for what you do. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dawn from North Elementary, part of the Jefferson Public School District, receives a $2,000 check from the Lottery Commissioner, Susanna Shkreli. Excellence in Education Awards sponsored by the Michigan Lottery, providing more than $28 billion to public education since 1972.